Vinita, hi, good morning,
Hello.
Vinita.
Good morning, sir.
Sorry, I'm being late every day, 5-10 minutes here and there. Please bear with me.
Yes, sir.
How's your mom, Vinita? How's she doing?
She's better, sir. It's a
Okay, okay.
discompression issue, so
She's okay
she's
now.
better, sir. She's
She's
on
fine
medication.
now, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good.
Yes, sir. She's getting better, sir.
Okay, okay. Are you the only sibling, or do you have any sisters or brothers, Vinita?
Yes, sir. I have a brother, sir. He's older than me. An elder brother.
Okay, so you're the youngest sibling.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, going back to our, you can see my screen, right, Vinita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think so.
Okay, let me share the document. So a quick recap. Let's have a quick recap about what happened yesterday. Okay, Vinita, or what we spoke about it, and possibly I'll recap my memory as well. If you can possibly brush me up. I don't need an elaborate explanation,
Sure,
but
sir. But
rather a quick recap just to check how much you have grasped, or possibly just to check your seriousness about what we spoke.
right.
Could you go ahead?
Yes, sir. We discussed about partial listening skills
Mm-hmm.
and assertive and passive. Then it was about multitasking and emotional intelligence on a major scale,
Okay.
and coexisting. That was the last topic that we
Okay. Can
discussed
you
yesterday.
got to sound a little louder? You're not audible completely. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you may have to raise your
Right.
voice a little so that you're heard.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Oh yeah, better, better. So any questions or anything you wanna ask me, or possibly anything you have chalked out from your perspective that possibly you think can really help you apart from what we discussed. See, there may be certain things which we may overlook. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we might, or
Right.
possibly when I say we, it cannot be you. It can be only me. I may have overlooked a few
Mm-hmm.
things, but I would like you to come out with agenda, or possibly your thinking after the class, or possibly before getting on to the next class. We definitely have question and answers, a Q&A session. So if you have anything in particular about what you're looking at, or possibly which you may have recollected at the last minute, you can go ahead and tell me so that I can add that also along with.
Sure, sir. So, just a couple of days back, I'd asked you if resilience was an attitude, and you said we'd discuss this in the class, but then I forgot this yesterday.
Okay. So resilience. See,
Mm.
I could possibly correlate this word uh, during conflicts. Okay. You know what
Okay.
conflicts are? Quarrels. Quarrels. It can be a
Yes.
war. It can be something to do with argument, and it can be an argument also. So,
Mm.
how resilient you are in defending yourself is what we normally do. So, you got the meaning there. So, when I say resilient, I've been very
Mm.
defendant. I'm very sturdy. Okay, and
Mm. Mm.
I'm more or less like a rock, unmoved.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
unmoved or unshakable, or possibly I'd say resilience uh, is it's the same word, resilient and resilience. Resilience is a verb. Okay, being resilient is basically trying to not just put on, trying to be very sturdy, come what
Mm.
may, or possibly you're ready to face the consequences, or you're ready to face the situation without any hurry or without any kind of a scariness in you, or you're not scared of anything. You are going to face it with what do you say? You're in full view. You're going to face all those consequences. Being resilient. Being resilient in this very, very strong. That's about it. And it's more to do with the positive aspects of anything you want to correlate, especially during wars. Especially, you may have heard of, you may have gone through history during your school days, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
So during our school days, when we talk about wars, we know that the kings were very resilient in defending their kingdom. One simple example.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would be resilient. I would become very resilient in defending my family or possibly safeguarding my family. I hope you got the meaning now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, you're trying to thwart. Let me put that word here. Have you heard about this word called thwart?
THWART. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You're trying to thwart off anyone who's attacking you, or anyone who's going to try to pick you, or anybody who's going to drive you offensive, or you are basically you are thwarting off others' attempts. It could be fighting with you, or possibly trying to pick up a quarrel with you, or trying to blame you, or trying to reason you. You're thwarting off their attempts. You're not letting them be successful. Simple as that.
Right. Right.
You can check this word on Google, I guess. This one. Can you see this word?
What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
THWART. See,
WAR.
these are not commonly found words, Vinita.
Right.
These are words commonly found in the scriptures. There are certain words which we normally don't use, and they are only used during writing purposes, or in a written document. For example, scriptures. I'm sure that we may have. Do you have the habit of reading the newspaper?
Yes, sir. I do.
Yeah. Which newspaper do you go through every day? English or Tamil?
English, sir.
English. Which one is that?
The Hindu
The Hindu. Okay.
and the Times of India.
And
The Times of India.
Times of India. Have you seen the language on the newspaper?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That language are not the usual language which we use while we
Yeah.
speak to people,
Right.
or
Right.
possibly certain words are not used in a common in our daily life when we are speaking to people,
Very
or
good.
even during our formal conversation. We don't use such words, and thwart is one among them.
Yeah.
Only a few, these are words which are predominantly used while you write, or while you might find all of these on a scripture. For example, newspapers. Forget the Hindu. Have you ever gone through the Economic Times?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't you think Economic Times has? I've seen Economic Times as one of the newspapers with sophisticated language. Have you seen that?
Language. Yes, sir. Yes.
Some sentences you would not be able to understand.
True. True.
Times of India makes language very simple. Hindu
Very simple.
is basically an old kind of an English, British English.
Correct.
Have you seen that?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Because
Yes.
Hindu is of an old genre. Actually, it's a very old newspaper. So they actually
Yes.
they still stick to that old British English.
Stick to them. Yes.
Yeah, they still stick, and they still
Yeah.
adhere to. I would use the word adhere. ADHER. One minute. I'll put it.
HER.
1 minute. Can you say this word?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, adherence is basically
ADHER.
they stick to the old British language, old colonial language, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, colonial language, which is more inclined towards Brits. Basically, we all know that we follow the education left behind by the Britishers.
Yeah.
That's still in usage, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Especially in colleges and schools. Yeah. For example, I'll give you a small
Yes.
example. If I'm writing a leave letter to the principal, okay, assuming that I'm writing a leave letter on behalf of my son, okay, or possibly I'm writing some application to the principal, okay. Even in Bangalore, okay. Uh, how do I address the principal, or how do you think we could address the principal, or what is the commonly used language when we are sending messages or possibly writing an application or writing a formal letter to the principal of the college or a principal of a school? How would we start off?
Respected.
Sorry?
Oh, respected sir. Before that, from and to.
Perfect, perfect. We use the word respected, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's purely British. We are still using it. I still use it, even though we are in the sophisticated age where most of our English is more Americanized, correct? Our English is more Americanized because we have a lot of US based companies in India, and what we are doing is we are adhering to their culture. See, basically, these are all cultural differences in language, in treating people, in usage of words. So, respected principal or respected teacher, we always start off by saying respected, even though we
Respected.
are far ahead and we are out of the British clutches, even though the Britishers have left us about 70 years ago, we still are using, or possibly we are still adhering to these kind of words. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still in usage. It's still in usage, and also you can see these kind of languages even in government offices.
Yeah.
Correct? And people also use the sentence called, I'll write that down.
Please do the next. Yes.
Have you seen this?
Yes. Yeah.
This is
Yes.
purely British.
Sure.
Yeah. We still are using this. I don't use it rather, but I've seen people still using it. Because, even I used to use this, but once we got into the corporate culture, okay, when I say corporate culture, when once we started working for corporations, US based, see, 80% of the companies in India are all US based companies. So we are moved from the Brit culture to the American culture when it comes to workplace, because that's the culture passed on to
Yeah.
us, and that's the kind of a training they give us. And even though they don't train you, you can see mails, emails, which is more informal, rather than we don't use respected sir. When you're sending in a mail to your manager, you wouldn't say respected sir. You would always say hi XYZ, hi Madan, hi Vinita, or dear Madan, or dear Vinita, correct? And I wouldn't use
Yeah.
the word please do the needful, but rather I would substitute by saying it would be great if you could help me, or it would be great if you could share this information, or I'll be thankful if you could share this information, or I will be very thankful if you could share the data file before close of business hours today. So these are more Americanized. It would be great, I would be thankful. I'm sure that you must have heard all of these words, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yes.
Or you also might have heard that I shall be more than happy to help you.
Yes.
These are more Americanized. When I say more Americanized, see, the Brits do not use much of soft skills.
Right.
Please remember that the Brits are not used to usage of soft skills like how an American would do, because in US soft skills for me and you, this is nothing but soft skills, but for them this is their religion. This is the way they speak.
Right.
For
Right.
them, customer service is not new. For them, customer service has been there for the last 55 to 60 years. For me and you, customer service is just about 20 years old.
Okay.
We used to only have after sales service. We did not have anything called as a term called customer service. So
Yes. Yes.
2000 onwards is when we started to see the customer service boom, when call centers came into the picture, when we had support centers coming into the picture. So these are the choice of words. I would say these are cultural barriers, are cultural differences when it comes to language. A Brit would not use such words. Rather, he would say dear sir. They would use the word sir and ma'am. Okay, a Brit would not use your first name. He would say, what's your, he would never say dear Madan, he would say dear Kumar, because Kumar is my last name. Or they would say dear Mr. Kumar,
Right.
dear Mr.
Right.
Last name.
Yes.
For example,
Yes.
if you're, what's your last name, Vinita?
Tulsidas.
Okay, I wouldn't say Tulsi, I wouldn't say Vinita, I would say thank you, Miss Tulsidas. Miss MS, no Mrs.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Mrs. is what I and you use it in India. But a Brit or an American, they would not use the word Mrs. Possibly, no, I'm not too sure. That's again a cultural difference there. They would rather use MS dot your last name, or a Mr. last name. And an American would prefer to be, an American is more informal compared to a Brit. But whereas a Brit, he is formal with you, and he expects to be formal with him as well. Okay, and you would always use the prefix called Mr. or Miss. Vinita,
Right.
just give me a moment, just give me one moment, Vinita.
Sure, sir. Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, I was talking about how formal and informal language makes a great big difference in according to geographies.
Hmm. Right.
Yes, it's not a geographical difference, it's a cultural difference. An American culture is
Question.
different from from UK. Okay, and an Australian culture is different from UK. You may have spoken to people from Australia, right? You cannot understand an Australian when he's talking. Do you know that?
Okay.
You will
I haven't had the experience.
yeah, you will have a tough time understanding an Aussie or a guy from New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, they are word stress. You know what word stress is?
Word stress, sir?
Word stress. Have you heard about word stress when they're talking? See, what I say is I would not say percent. If I'm an American, I would say percent.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got used to it. So even today, I use the word percent, but whereas an Indian would say percent. So an American would not say percent, he would say percent because he would roll his R's.
Yes.
Similarly, an Aussie would have a different kind of a pronunciation on different words. So you finding speaking to an Aussie or someone from Oceania, New Zealand and Australia, they are in Oceania. Okay, you cannot understand a guy from Australia and New Zealand. You will have difficulty. But whereas in UK, you have people in and around UK, you have people from Scotland, you have people from Ireland. So you can follow what they're talking because they speak like how me and you speak because our accent is neutral.
Correct.
Or possibly I would say we don't roll the R's, correct?
Correct.
And similarly, a Brit would not roll his R's. So it's more
Right.
typical that we follow them actually. When you speak about when you talk about language pronunciation, we follow them, not an American.
Right.
But yes, I would use that only when I'm speaking to an American. I would roll my R's. I would get onto an American accent only when I'm talking to an American, because he would not comprehend or he would not understand what you're trying to talk. So I match up with his language, I match up with his intonation, I match up with his word stress. Uh, 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 I
Yeah.
also would match up with certain choice of words which an American would really understand. And even when I'm writing an email, my emails are more Americanized. It's just not, it's gone out those days where people used to say, respected sir and things like that. Except for institutions and colleges, like I said, they still follow the same protocol. But unfortunately, since we are all working and we have seen more US companies flourishing in India, we have jobs coming from US based companies predominantly, and we have clients from US. We have less UK companies except for except for a handful. The rest all are from US. And even though you're working in India, an Indian company, you may have to work for a US process. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
there you may have to be an American. You need to sound like an American over the phone and over an email as well. So email writing skills, the choice of words, the way you write, the way you put across your thoughts in a sentence is different compared to how you normally send it to an Indian. Okay, but when you get used to the Americanized way of writing emails, this is the most sought after and most commonly used across the globe now, especially in India.
Okay.
So what we normally do is we stick to that protocol and we start using their choice of words. I'm sure that you must have seen emails telling that you take care and have a wonderful day.
Yes, yes.
How, yeah, or possibly say have a fabulous day, have a great weekend, have a blessed weekend, or they would also ask you how you been,
Yes, I will.
how you doing.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
If suppose someone you're talking to, for example, assume that you're talking to me, I'm from US or I'm a client from US. Definitely, even you do not, you just say hi. I would definitely will stick to my protocol. I definitely would not say hi and stay quiet. I would also reciprocate by saying I would say hi, good morning. Then I would also, how are you doing, or how's it going? How are you doing?
Right.
How is it going? How you been? These are all purely Americanized. But for a Brit, I would say hope you're doing well,
Mm.
or possibly I would say guess you're doing fine. Hope you're doing fine, or I would say I'm sure that this email finds you in good health and spirits.
Right. Yes, yes.
That's more Indianized and more inclined towards Brits. Hope this email finds you in good health and spirits. So this is purely a what do you say? An ancient way of setting off an email or setting off a conversation on a document or while you write. But whereas an American, he would definitely say that thank you for connecting with us. I would say hi John. I would use the first name because most Americans they are informal and they don't mind calling them by first names, except for one or two instances they are more informal. And even on emails you can straight away address them telling that hi John, how are you doing, or hi John, hope you're doing good, or hi John, hope all is well with you, or hi John, hope you're faring well, faring.
So what sharing. Okay.
Sorry,
No, no, I didn't hear that word correctly. But then
hope you're
it's clear now.
faring well, faring.
Right, right, right.
Did you get it now? I've typed it here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, these are various ways of putting it across in an email. Again, it depends on how creative you are and how you could play with the words around. See, once you become creative, you definitely will play with words, and people you would play with words, with choice of words, which you may be very innovative in making you look sophisticated, or possibly making sure that you sound polished over an email or even while you talk. When I say talk in person and as well as over the phone. See, over the phone, your pronunciation matters most, even though you're sophisticated and even though you're very stylish. Your pronunciation makes a lot of difference when people talk to you, and it makes a lot of difference in people understanding what you're trying to convey. It's not like an email. An email has a printed document, correct? So, but whereas a telephonic conversation or a conversation over a phone makes a lot of difference than writing an email, because the email is a written document, it's a record, correct? It's a record, it's a proof. But excuse
Yeah.
me. But when you're speaking to someone over the phone, there is various factors which make you some sophisticated, make you sound good, and make the other person feel good about continuing the conversation with you, or possibly trying to spend more time with you over the phone. See, not many people sound interesting over the phone.
Yeah.
Not many. They sound dead over the phone. You would definitely will be thinking that when will I end this conversation with this guy? But with some you definitely would love to talk and continue for a little more longer time. I'm sure that you agree with me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that happens only when you possess good language, and that happens only when you have passion about language, or when you think that you are good at socializing, or possibly when you think that you can extend your thought process, or when you think that you have the you have the potent to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
Only then you will continue talking to the person. Otherwise, it's like, okay, well, what's that? I'm sure that you must have faced this situation when you call the customer care. Yeah, especially when you call the customer care. Okay, customer care in terms of uh, uh, your service provider, your telephone service provider, Airtel, you know,
Yes.
uh, Vodafone, or whatever. The first thing we do is, if something goes wrong, we call the customer care. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And how do you think you feel about them? How do you think they treat you, or how do you think they handle your call? Do you like the language?
Some people they know what they're doing. They know what they're saying. They try to understand, and there's a fair level of communication there. Otherwise, it's about asking them which language they're comfortable in talking and switching to the local language. That works much better.
Okay. See, when you call a
But
customer
that's not
care,
the case.
sorry,
Hmm.
go ahead.
No, sir, but that's not the case when it's with Amazon or Myntra or any other e-commerce. But then with Airtel or Vodafone, this is the case, in my experience.
Why do you think Mintra and others have a better way of handling customers, or they are better from your perspective? or
I believe
or what makes them
um,
better from your perspective?
what makes it better is that right from the beginning, I don't have to. I'm not confused as to whether this person will understand what I'm gonna talk or my issue. It's just clear right from the beginning. But then when it's Airtel, I need to make sure if the person, of course, the person tries to talk in English, but then when I explain my issue, the person doesn't understand. So then, which language are you comfortable talking? And then I have to switch.
So, what are the things you observe there when it comes to language? I'm writing it down. Huh?
Hmm.
What are the things from your perspective you would observe, or you would think uh, is ideal for them to sound good?
It would be better if they don't rush into completing the sentence. Because sometimes when it's a North Indian person speaking English, it's of the same tone.
Hmm.
words are all jumbled. It's not clear.
Okay.
Mm. They believe they speak good English, but then it would be better if they sort of asked the customer
Mm-hmm.
and made sure if they follow the language.
Mm.
In this scale, I just see this much. Sir. I wouldn't go for pronunciation or I wouldn't get into the details
Mm-hmm.
because clearly, if the language can be spoken, then it's fine. The pronunciation is all good. Doesn't matter.
See, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for me, like you said, you're 60 to 70%. I would go with you. But for me, when I'm talking to somebody, especially somebody who's handling my queries, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all queries, right? Why do you call them?
Yes. Well,
It could be queries or it could be issues also. Queries can be only questions. You may want only answers. Issues could be, you may have issues and they are there to sort it out, correct? See, I would see
correct.
all of these things which I have documented. I would first would observe how polite and
Mm-hmm.
courteous that guy is, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You agree with me?
Yes, sir. But then I wouldn't give this point first preference, polite and courteous, because not that all the time a person is polite. Not at all. Because when I call them and the person is not polite, it sort of puts me off, and then after that the ways of getting the issue sorted is not going to be smooth. So I don't give preference to that. But if they can speak and if they can understand what I'm trying to tell them, I think that would be much better in terms of Airtel, Vodafone, or any other service provider.
Okay. See, for me, from your perspective, I would say yes. For me, when I'm talking to somebody, especially, these are all customer care guys, correct?
Correct.
They are there to handle customers' queries or issues and ensure that it is resolved. Why do we call those guys? Because we have a problem. That's the reason we call them, right?
Yes. Correct.
We have a problem. Okay, we have some issue. Uh, we have some technical issues with the sim, or possibly something to do with my what do you say?
Network.
Yeah, whatever. So I call them. I see. I have a need. I have I have a query or an issue or I have a need to call them. So I call them. The first thing, what do they do actually when they call you up when they pick the phone? You may have to wait for 2 or 3 minutes with the IVR, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Before reaching a customer care executive, you may have to wait in the
Wait.
queue. So you gotta follow the IVR instructions, and then you are in the queue waiting for someone to attend your call and talk to you, right?
Correct.
So when after waiting for 2 or 3 minutes, okay, if suppose someone picks up the call and he starts sounding rude, see basically you know what rude is. It can be his language, or it can be the choice of words, or it can be the voice quality, or it can be the voice modulation. Okay, let me put it here. You can see my screen, right, Vinita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
See the voice modulation and how professional they are. And secondly, I would also check, like you said, not much of language, because I'm not here to check his language, but I'm here to get my issues resolved. Simple as that, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I also look at how I would look at his listening
Listening
skills.
skills.
See, listening skills plays an important role, because when he asks you, "Thank you for calling Airtel. My name is XYZ. How may I help you?" Correct?
Okay. Yes. Correct.
So when that's the standard, we call that as a standard greeting. See, all those greetings are from US. It's all Americanized.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I got to know this only when I joined the call center industry way back in 2000. I was in a process called American Express. Okay, that's an inbound situation where customers used to call. I was handling, I was a part of the customer care queue. Okay, and we were trained. We were trained on handling customers. We were trained on custom telephonic format, call control. We call that as a call control format. I'll tell you how it works later. And we were trained on call control format. We were trained on the scripture. You know what a scripture is. We should follow the scripture. That is,
Right.
first and the foremost thing is open the call and greet the customer. That means thank you for calling Airtel. How may I help you? Open the call, greet the customer, identify the company or identify self. When I say identify self, your name. That's how these people they follow that call as thank you for calling Airtel. My name is Madan. How may I help you? See, these are the guidelines, or this is basically a structured way of handling customers, correct?
Good.
Structured way of handling customers. That's a call control format. In betweens, all of these are the ones which are to be observed. All of these.
Right.
See, how you open the call and how you end the call is mandatory. Okay, they rate you. The internal quality team will rate you. If you're not opening, you cannot just say, "My name is Madan. How can I help you?" Or I cannot just open the call and say, "Hi, what do you want?" I can't do that. I need to follow a certain standard operational procedures where we are trained on how to open a call, talk to customers, start off with the conversation, and how to listen. Even listening is a skill, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only when you are an effective listener, only then you can capture the customer's queries and it's easy for you to resolve. If you
Right.
are poor in listening skills, you would not listen the customer's query completely, and he will have to repeat the query once again, and that is actually bad.
Right.
Vinita, are you following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, see, first thing is polite and courteous. And this again comes, when I say polite and courteous, I would look at it as language skills.
Okay.
The kind of choice of words he applies when he's talking to you. How may I help you? How may I assist you? And what is that you want? What can I do for you? Is all the same.
Right.
But
Right.
bottom line, how polite you are makes a difference. Is how may I assist you or how may I help you is more polite. It's inclined towards being polite and courteous.
I think that's the difference between Amazon, Myntra, and Airtel.
Though even
I've
Airtel,
never heard.
see, it's not that. Even Airtel, the customer support executives are trained. Okay, all the customer support centers they train their people. Please remember, they train the people. But the problem is, some do not follow the protocol. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Some do not
Yes.
follow that. Some do not follow the procedure. They have their own word set. See, the choice of words is basically your skill.
Correct.
How may I assist you or how may I help you is all the same. But how may I
Correct.
assist you is a polished word compared to how may I help you. And they train you in all of these because they train you on the scripts. They train you on the scripture, opening the call, or how you greet the customer, and how you end the call. How do people usually end the call? For example, assume that you call Amazon. Okay, how do they end the call? Do you remember?
Amazon. Amazon, I really don't remember, sir. But with Airtel, I remember.
Yeah. How do they
Because
close the call in Airtel?
Airtel is it's a mix of Tamil and English, and
No, no. Let's not.
They
Let's not
say
talk
that,
about. Let's not talk about domestic. Let's not talk. Let's talk about the English
okay,
queue. Let's talk about somebody who's handling. Let's not talk about somebody who's speaking in English and handling your resolution, or who's helping you helping resolve your issue.
no, the English version is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a mix of Tamil
Hmm.
and English, or it's a mix of Hindi and English. And they say that how they close is thank you for contacting Airtel.
Okay. That's all.
That's all. That's all.
That's all. And they say goodbye or no.
No, nothing, nothing. Thank you for contacting Airtel.
Yeah.
Any other issues? That's a comma, a question mark, or never know. That's all. Thank you for contacting Airtel.
See, this is the difference between our guys and a, a, a customer service professional. See, they do not follow something called as a protocol. They use their own choice of words and they sound awful. Correct? See, assuming that
Correct.
you called me, okay, you
Mm,
have a problem. I resolve your problem, and once I resolve the problem,
mm.
as a customer, you just want to just get off the line. Correct?
Correct.
You don't have anything else
Correct.
because when you have your problems resolved, there's nothing much to
Mhm.
spend time with that guy. Rather, you would say you would want to buzz off.
Yes.
Correct? Even I would do the same thing. See, for me, I've called for a purpose. Okay,
Mm,
I've called for a purpose.
mm,
I've got my problems resolved. So I don't have much work.
mm.
I would want to get out of it because my purpose to call is to have my problems resolved. Correct? So after that, and if suppose that I am a customer support guy, I finish resolving your issue, then then you obviously will give uh, what do you say, a note of agreement telling that it's been resolved. You as a customer will tell you, right? He will ask you, ma'am, is the problem resolved?
Yes. Yes.
What do you say? You definitely say, yeah, it's done.
Yes.
So the next thing I would do as a customer care executive, I would ask
Mm.
you, is there anything else I may help you with?
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
How many of them do it? Not many of them do it.
Mm.
Not many of them do it, but it is basically a protocol
Yes.
to ask the customer, or possibly you are trying to take an agreement with the customer, a confirmation with the customer that your problem has been resolved. That means you
Stop.
already have confirmed that the problem has been resolved. As a customer, you confirm. And I, as a customer
Mm.
support guy, I would say it's my obligation, professional obligation, to ask the customer if he or she has any other issues apart from what I have resolved. Are you getting it, Vinita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that I do it only after I get a confirmation that your issues has been resolved, and then I asked you, is there anything else I may help you with? Then how do you respond to that?
I'd say not really.
Sorry,
I'd say not really.
you said that you definitely will
Not,
say that I don't have any, correct?
yes. Yes.
You'll tell that no, I'm happy with this, no, or you'll probably tell that my problem has been resolved. Thank you so much. Correct?
Mm. Mm.
That
Yes.
means you are indirectly
Yes.
telling them that I do not have any other issues.
Correct.
So when I ask you, is there anything else I may help you with, or is there anything else I may assist you with? See, basically, we call it a professional way of closing the call. That is going the extra. We call that question as an going the extra mile question.
Mm.
Did you get that?
Yes. Yes.
It's going the extra mile question. Not most of the executives don't ask that. I've seen it. They'll ask you, ma'am,
Mm.
please check if everything is working, ma'am. Then you'll say, yeah, everything is working. Then if immediately they'll say that, okay, ma'am, thank you for contacting Airtel, goodbye. So they do not have the decency, or they are not professional enough to ask the customer if he or she has any other questions before closing the call. or before concluding the conversation. Vinita, I understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I've been very professional. I've been following the protocol. See,
Mm.
usually international processes, they train you on all of these because I'll tell you why. They train you on all of these.
Mm.
They would give you a scripture where you have to adhere to all of these, and you may have to close the call.
Mm.
Before closing the call, you have to ask the customer. It's a mandate that you ask the customer whether he or she has any other
Mm.
questions or queries apart from what has been resolved on the call now. Correct?
Right. Right.
So that's going the extra mile question. I ask them, is there anything else I may help you? Then definitely you will say that, no, no, not for the moment, thank you so much. You want to disconnect the call.
Yes. Yes.
You want to get off the call because your issues are
Yes.
resolved. You don't need, there's a necessity for you to spend time with this guy anymore.
Correct. Correct.
Clear? So what you do is you say,
Correct.
no, no, not at all, I'm happy that you resolved the call. Then immediately it's a confirmation for me that you do
Mm.
not have any issues. Then next I would close the call by saying, thank you for calling Airtel, or
Mm.
thank you for contacting Airtel. You have a good day. Take
Mm.
care. Correct?
Yes.
So that is branding the call. We call that as closing and branding. What's branding? Using you using the company's name. Correct?
Mm. Correct.
Even during the opening also you use the branding. Thank you for calling Airtel. My
Yes.
name is
Thank you.
Madan. How may I help you? So I'm
Yes.
branding
Yeah.
the call even while I close it. Then I would say that thank you for
Mm.
contacting with us, or thank you for contacting Airtel. You have a wonderful day,
Mm.
Vinita.
Yeah.
If I happen to get out to a nice customer, the customer will be very happy. The customer will say thank you so much, thank you, and you too.
Yes.
And
Yes.
once the customer says that, only then you're supposed to close the call by saying goodbye. Without a goodbye
Mm.
or without a bye, the call is not complete. Please remember. That's how that's how a protocol is followed.
Oh. Okay.
When I ask you, is there anything else I may help you with, you'll definitely say, no, no, not at all. I'm happy. My issue got resolved.
Mm. Mm.
Then I would definitely say, thank you for calling. Thank you for contacting. Thank you for connecting, or thank you for calling Airtel, Vinita. You have a good day.
Mm. Mm.
And I would wait for your acknowledgement.
Mm.
I would
Yeah.
pause and wait for 5-10 seconds.
Mm.
Some customers would
Wow.
acknowledge
So,
by saying that, yeah, you too. Or some customers would say thank you. When the customer says thank you, that means
mm.
from the customer's end, he or she does not want to prolong the conversation. So the next job is you have to say goodbye.
Mm.
So goodbye
Correct.
indicates the end of a conversation. So, see, there are
Correct.
so many parameters, Vinita. There are so many parameters when it comes to soft skills. The more you
Mm.
talk, the more you recall,
Mm.
the more you can go ahead and
Mm.
discuss on all of these. So being this, I'm just telling you and listening. See, it's just not only for the customer care guys. Please remember, this is even for
Mm.
you when you are speaking to somebody over the phone.
Mm.
Please remember that,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
Don't think that Madan told me it's only for customer care guys. No, this applies for every individual, irrespective of he or she being in the customer service industry, or he or she
Mm.
handling customers on a regular note. See, we used to open the calls on the same note. We used to have
Mm.
about 75 to 80 calls in a shift. Okay,
Okay.
75 to 80 calls. Every call is recorded. Okay,
Mm.
or every call used to be recorded, and every call you
Mm.
open, I follow the protocol. Thank you for
Mm.
calling Dell. Could I have your service tag number, please? See, service tag number is one unique
Mm.
number without which we cannot proceed with the call, because you may have to put the service tag in the system and check if the customer, he is the same guy who's calling. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That is the verification procedure. When once you verify, definitely will ask his name. When you're verifying in the CRM, you definitely will keep the customers engaged, telling that could I get your first and the last name, please?
Yes. Yes.
Could I get your first and the last name, please? Then the customer says John Matthew. You'll check in the records. Oh yeah, he's the guy. So the
Mm.
verification is complete. Then you start off on a serious note with the customer. Then you say that, Mr. John, what can I do for you today?
Mm.
Because when you are verified, when you know that the customer is genuine, then you would say that what can I do for you today? But
Mm.
even the customer knows that there is a verification procedure, so he will cooperate with you. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, correct.
He
Yes, sir.
knows the procedure. He knows that we are trying
Yes.
to verify his genuinity.
Mm.
We are trying to verify that
Mm.
he is the same person. So he will cooperate with you in giving all the information. See, he will cooperate.
Correct.
He'll cooperate because one thing is he knows this is a procedure. Second thing is he knows
Mm.
without which you might not be able to help you,
Yes, true.
because you won't be able to go further without verification. So the customer knows that without this, the customer service person cannot help him. So he will be cooperative with you.
Mm.
These are all
Correct.
called as verification procedures. But when you talk about speaking to someone over the phone offline, assume that you get a
Mm.
call, you get a call from an unknown number. Okay,
Mm.
how do you open the call, Vinita? Assume I call you. You can say that, hi, Madan sir, good morning. Correct?
Mm. Yes, correct.
And when I call you, I straight away call you telling that, Vinita, good morning. How are you doing? Because I know you, I've saved your number. We know one another. We know
Yes.
one another's identity, and we've been talking. So we are acquaintances. You must have heard about this word called acquaintances, right?
Yes. 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 Sir. Yes. Sir. Yes.
So acquaintances are people who you know. It could be for a short or a long duration.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it could be for 2 months, or it could be for 20 years also, or it could be for 2 days, or it could be for 10 days also. Your acquaintances is
Yes.
somebody whom you know.
Yes.
It could be a friend, it could be a girlfriend, it could be a spouse, it could be anybody whose name
Mm.
or whose numbers listed in your diary, in your phone book. Correct?
Yes.
Or maybe you know who the person is.
Yes. Correct.
So my way of speaking to an acquaintance is, basically it's like, I have already established a rapport with you. I know you, so I start off with the name. Hi, Vinita. Good morning. I
Yes.
would say, hi, who's calling? When I know that it's you and when I saved your number, I would be doing that.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
So I straight away hit the bullseye, telling that, hi, Vinita. Good morning. How are you doing?
Mm.
But
Correct.
similarly, if it's a stranger,
Mm.
how do you think, how do we usually open, or how do we respond when we pick a call? Assume that I'm a
I
stranger. Okay,
usually.
I'm a
Mm.
stranger. I call you.
Mm.
How do you open the call?
The first question is, may I know who's this, or may I know who's calling me?
Absolutely. And please do not say, this is Vinita, how may I help you? Please don't do that. Please do not identify yourself for strangers.
No.
Never do
No.
that. It's not
No. But this is
advisable.
the question that I asked.
Yeah, it's not advisable. Some people, they call up and
No.
they straight away they ask you, am I speaking with Vinita?
Mm.
Some people might just call you up and assume that some
Mm.
XYZ is calling, and basically you say
Mm.
hi. Then the other person will say, ma'am, when you say hi, he'll know that you're a girl, correct?
Mm. Yes.
Before which he might not know the gender. He may or may not know the gender.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
When once you start talking, he'll know that he's talking to girl. He would say that, ma'am, good morning. My name is XYZ. I'm calling from Axis Bank. This is regarding a personal loan. Are you interested? Correct?
Mm. Mm. Correct.
Some people, so you don't have to ask them who you are. For such people, you know that these people are telemarketers. So they
Yes.
identify the
Yes.
name, they identify from where they're calling, and they would tell you the purpose of their calling as well. They would say that this is regarding a bank loan.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
In one single shot, if I'm a smart guy, I definitely will finish all of these in one single line. I would say that when you pick the call, I would say that, Miss Vinita, my name is, I may speak with Vinita. Then you would say that
Mm.
yes. Before you ask me
Mm.
what's this regarding and what's your name, I definitely would say that my name is Madan, ma'am. I'm calling from HDFC Bank. This is regarding a loan. Would you be
Mm.
interested? In one single shot, I would
Mm.
give you all the information because I don't want to waste time.
Yes.
I would not want to waste your time, importantly.
True.
Or I would
True.
not want you to come out with two or three questions.
Mm.
So when I tell
Correct.
that, immediately your answer would be, no, I'm not interested, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Or you might tell the person, I'm a little busy, can you call up in the afternoon?
Correct.
And even if in case you tell me that can you call up in the afternoon, if I definitely would ask you what time is ideal for me to call you again, ma'am. Correct?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
If I'm smart enough. Or if I say that, okay,
Mm.
ma'am, but afternoon is when? It's after 12 o'clock, it's till 3 o'clock, it's afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Correct.
would not know
Correct.
what time I should be calling this guy or what time I should be calling her. So if I'm smart, they would say
Mm.
that, thank you so much, ma'am. Can you please let me know a convenient time to call you in the afternoon?
Correct. Correct.
Or to make it more simple, I'll ask her, ma'am, what time you want me to call you?
Mm.
So he or she might say that around 3 o'clock. So what I do is I
Mm.
make notes telling that I have to call this customer 3 o'clock and I follow it up.
Correct.
These are organized way of speaking to people and organized way of making sure that we run the conversation.
Mm.
And some people might say that my name is this. Can I have?
Mm.
Is this an ideal time to talk? Have you seen them?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Some people would have they are so much well trained. They definitely would call you. They'll say
Mm.
that I would say, am I speaking with Vinitha? Or if I'm very
Mm.
professional, I wouldn't say Vinitha because I don't know how old are you. Correct?
Yes. Correct.
I
Correct.
definitely would say, am I speaking with Miss Vinitha? When you say hi or when you say hello, I definitely would say, am I
Mm.
speaking with Miss Vinitha? And I would continue
Correct.
telling that I would like to, am I speaking with Miss Vinitha? This is a call from HDFC Bank and my name is Madan and this is regarding a personal loan, ma'am. So one sentence, I
Mm.
finished my whole dialogue.
Correct.
I would
Correct.
not let you ask me a question. That's again a technique.
Mm. Correct.
If
Correct.
suppose I would say that am I speaking with Vinitha and stop, you would say yes, and you'll start questioning me. What is this regarding? Correct.
Correct. Correct.
So I
Correct.
am not giving you room to question me. Simple.
Mm. Right.
So I'm making sure that I do not irritate you, or I would not want you
Mm.
to come out with questions. See, asking someone questions, especially some dumb people call. Some dumb telemarketers also call you. Have you seen them? They call, then they start speaking
Yes.
in Hindi.
Yes.
Have you come across situations
Yes.
like that?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Nowadays,
They've gone to an extent where they've scolded me for not knowing Hindi.
okay, they
All
actually
that is
abused you, is
happening.
it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, you should see. Basically, you have to stick to the geographical language, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
If assuming that I'm talking to somebody from Tamil Nadu, okay, I cannot
Mm-hmm.
expect everybody to know English, or I would not expect everybody to speak the same way I do,
Mm-hmm. Correct.
or I cannot expect the person to talk even decent English or basic English. That's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
once I figure out that this guy does not understand English or he does not communicate in English, I definitely will switch to
Mm-hmm.
his local language
Correct. Correct.
to make sure that the conversation is easy, to make sure that he
Mm-hmm.
understands what I'm trying to convey, and importantly, it
Mm-hmm.
makes life easier for you than
Mm-hmm.
continuing in English knowing that he does not understand you.
Correct. Correct.
So I switch to the local language or I switch to the language the customer is comfortable, which is more non
Mm-hmm.
English.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, what's happening
But
is
the
we get,
time.
yeah, you tell me
Um,
something.
no, no, no. Sir. Listen, listen.
Of late, we have been getting sales calls from North India. They straight away start talking in Hindi. Have you seen
Mhm.
them?
Yes, sir.
They start talking in Hindi, irrespective of the geography they are calling. So times like that, you may have
Yes.
to educate them and tell them, hey, look, boss, you first have to ask them where are you calling from.
Mm-hmm.
See, they cannot call someone. Those are all called as cold
Mm-hmm.
calling. You know that, right?
Yes. Yes.
A
Yes.
cold calling in the international language, they would say lead acquisition. So cold calling is
Mm-hmm.
basically they just give you a number. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they just give you a phone number. They would not reveal your gender, whether you are a girl or a boy. They might give you the
Mm-hmm.
name. Not all the cases. If suppose they give the name Indian names, I'm sure that I know that it's a girl or a boy.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Indian names, I think I know whether Vinita is a female name, correct?
Yes, yes.
So I know as an Indian, when they give me an Indian database, I know I'm
Mm,
calling a girl in the name of Vinita. But when
mm,
it comes to
mm,
names in the US or names
mm,
in Britain, you cannot distinguish
mm,
between a lady and a guy until and unless
mm,
you hear their voice. Not all of them.
mm.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There
Yes.
are a few names in the US. It sounds like a guy's name, Michael, Michael.
Mm.
I'm putting it across here. Okay.
Michael is guy's name.
These are two different names.
Michelle. Right.
Michael is a guy.
Michelle.
Michelle is a girl.
Mm. Yeah, correct.
So you got to be very careful. But when it comes to giving me these names with phone numbers, I would not know whether Michael is a guy or a Michelle is a guy.
Mm.
But when it comes to
Okay.
Indian names,
Mm.
I definitely know Sunita is a
I,
girl and Arun
yeah.
is a guy.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So here,
Correct.
what I do is, I call them, and definitely I would not rely on the voice to check whether it's a he or a she.
Correct.
I would not wait for whether to know it's whether a she or a she. I would definitely
Mm.
call and ask whether can I speak to Sunita or Miss Sunita or Mr.
Mm.
Arun. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Except for names like Kiran, Patrikingla,
Yes, sir. That's very confusing.
Madhu.
Mm. Correct.
Yeah, these are all unisex names. Madhu can be a guy or a girl.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Kiran can be a guy or a girl.
Mm.
In the Mari,
Correct.
there are a few names in India also where they actually name them even for
Mm.
both the sexes. They can use these names.
Yes.
So in the Mari
Yes,
pair
sir.
ke both, you
Yes.
got to be careful. That's still okay.
Mm.
So what we do is we actually call the person. We need, when you speak to the person, you definitely will ask, "What is this regarding? Could I get your name, or what's this regarding? May I know who's calling, or could I get your name?" There are certain people who have a very uh, 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 usual habit of asking, "Who's this?" Correct?
Mm. So that's very rude.
Yeah, that's pretty rude. That's a rude way of asking
Mm.
who you are. தமிழ்ல கேக்குற மாதிரி யாரா நீ என்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
Ah, correct.
Who's this? Hey, யாரா நீ? Correct?
Correct. Correct, sir.
I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people using that.
Yes, sir.
I've seen a lot of people
Like,
using that. Importantly, even working professionals use that. That is the saddest part.
yes, yes.
The saddest part is people who are professionals, people who are working, they still use that. Who's this? See, when I call somebody, I usually call the HRs. Sometimes I handle this B2B customers also. You know what B2B customers are? Corporate assignments.
Yes, yes,
And when
yes.
I call these guys or when I call these girls, they say, "Who's this?"
Yes.
Imagine a person working in an organization being so rude.
Mm,
See, I don't get
mm.
angry, Vinita, but rather I feel sorry for them.
Yes, correct, correct,
புரியுதுங்களா?
correct, correct.
I would say, I would
Mm.
always think that, oh my God, I'm talking to this guy. See, the way they ask you itself, you can rate them, correct? La?
Correct, correct.
Immediately, I'll rate them down. I think, oh, this guy is so unprofessional.
Mm.
Purichanga.
Right,
You got what
right.
I'm saying, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
They lack etiquette. You know what etiquettes
Correct.
are?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Etiquettes are how basically etiquette is a guideline.
Mm.
It's a procedure. It's what you adhere to.
Mm.
So I would always think that, oh, this guy is so unprofessional. He's asking me who's this.
Correct,
When someone asks you who's this, your enthu levels will go down. Correct?
correct, correct, correct.
For me as a professional, I feel sorry, but my enthu levels will not go down. But rather,
Mm.
I would sound professional and make sure that this person is pushed into a corner. Make sure that he gets into a inferiority complex. I do that.
Okay.
I do that. I intentionally do that.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
intentionally do that to tell him that, hey, look, you're a working professional and you're not sounding
Mm.
professional.
Efficient.
So I make sure that that guy gets the pinch, and
Mm.
whether he corrects himself or not, that's not my job.
Correct.
But I make sure that he realizes that he is wrong somewhere.
Mm.
அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கன்ஃபியூஷனில் போட்டு விட்டுருவேன் நான். So who's this? I've seen a lot of people. Who's this? Please do not use
When
who's
is
this.
that? That's like a common thing, sir.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Who's this? Is a commonly found question. Rende word dane. Who's this? So they will
Who's
not
this?
see. Secondly, they'll have problems, with a free flow of conversation. If someone calls me and they say that I'm speaking to Madan, I usually
Mm.
get sometimes I get interview calls. Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. Sometimes
Okay.
I sorry.
No, sir, I didn't say anything, sir.
So sometimes companies call me, and sometimes
Mm.
companies call me on this number. They'll find Contra on Google, and some companies call us
Mm.
for services. Okay, and
Okay.
I have
Okay.
these people calling for services. They would want the SEO projects. They would want us to, run their campaigns. Digital marketing services are, we have so many
Yes.
activities. So they call me. When once they call, I make sure that I say
Mm.
that, good morning, this is Madan from Kantra. How may I help you?
Mm. Mm.
Because I use the word Kantra because this is an official number. And secondly, I know they would
Mm.
have identified, or possibly they would have got a number and they're calling us. So I make sure that I sound professional on the phone.
Correct. Correct.
Or I would also say that, hi, this is Madan. How may I help you?
Mm.
Then they
Yes.
will go ahead and tell that, I found you, then they'll ask you, do you guys build websites? Then I would say that, then
Mm.
I would prolong the conversation by asking, I would definitely politely ask you, how may I help you, and what's that you're looking for? Then I'll tell them, we'll be more than happy to assist you.
Happy
Please let
to
me know your
correct.
requirement.
Mm.
I can as well avoid this lengthy sentence, and I can say that, okay, tell me now what do you want. I can do that, no?
Yeah.
I can as well do that, but rather I make
Mm.
sure that I sound professional by asking. If he says, "Are you building website?" I'll definitely say that. Surely you. I'll definitely say that. Sure, surely we do that.
Mm.
Please let me know your requirements so that we can proceed further. How does that
Mm.
sound? And how does this question sound? Oh, tell me what do you want.
Yeah.
அதே மாதிரி தான் who's this is very
Mm.
unprofessional and it is rude.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It is not in your professional world that you're going to adhere to it, but make sure that you use that on a regular note.
Mm.
How may I help you? Or what is this regarding? May I know who I am speaking to? Or may I know who I am speaking with?
Correct. Correct.
But the sentence might be a little lengthier, but that sounds very
Lengthy.
polished and it sounds very polite and courteous. Correct. Simple.
Correct. Correct.
You
Correct.
sound good over the phone when you ask someone, may know who's this. Some people use the word may know who's this. That's also wrong. Who's this itself is wrong.
Mm.
May know who
You
I'm
know who's
speaking with.
calling? Speaking. It's okay.
If suppose I say, may I know who I am speaking with, you'll say Vinita.
Mm.
Then the next question
Mm.
is, could I know what's this regarding? I'm still
Mm.
being polite with you.
Yes. Yes.
If suppose I ask you, may I know who I'm speaking with, if you're
Mm.
smart enough, you can say that I'm Vinita calling from XYZ and this is regarding this. Finished.
Correct. Correct.
So you're not allowing me to ask more questions. You're not allowing me to probe more on your identity and the
Mm.
purpose of your calling. If you're smart enough, you'll do that.
Correct. Correct.
Yesterday there was a call. Okay, yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, there was a call from one of the companies. Okay, seeking for our services. Okay,
Okay, sir.
they called me on a company number. Uh, in fact, I was in the middle of a session with you yesterday.
Yes, sir.
I usually get calls in between, so I don't attend calls because it doesn't, when What if it's a big conversation or if it's a long call? I may have to skip you and I have to, give them attention and talk to them once I pick the
Right.
call.
Right.
So what I
Right.
do is I
Right.
refrain such calls and after that I return the call.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and that
Okay.
was some set of people, a startup who are looking for our services.
Okay.
They found us on Google. I'm sure that even you found us on Google, right?
Yes, sir. I do.
So they have found us on Google and they are from Delhi. Okay, it's a Delhi-based company.
Okay.
And most of
Okay.
the North people from North, their language is not like how me and you talk in the south of India. Their language is different and they're not polished. But that's not my concern. Okay, my concern is services.
Yes, correct.
I'm here to give them service, tell them what service we are about, and make sure that the customers are happy at the end of the day. That's our job. Okay, I call
Correct.
that guy. I return the call. Okay, and Truecaller is visible. Truecaller at least it'll give you an inclination of who's called you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So I'm possibly even if in case I see the Truecaller, I will not use the same name from Truecaller because some people will have different names compared to what it shows on Truecaller.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So I usually don't adhere to that. Rather, I call them and telling that my name is Madan. Okay, I'm from Control Digital. I missed your call. You had called us in the morning by about 10:30. Could I know what is this regarding and where are you calling from? Then he started telling that I called from Delhi. I wanted a service and things like that. Okay, I really could not understand what he was talking because his English was. I found difficulty in understanding what he was trying to talk. Okay, and I told him when he said. Then I asked him, Where are you from? I asked him, could I know which location are you from? Did not have a straight question. I cannot say where are you from. Rather, I put it in the polished fashion, telling that, could I know which location are you from, sir? He told, I'm from Delhi. Then I asked him, can we speak in Hindi? He was so overjoyed. He said that, do you know Hindi? I said, yeah. He assumes that people from South do not know Hindi. Then I told him I'm from Bangalore. I'm
Correct.
multilingual. You let me know if I can speak to you in Hindi. So that we'll make sure that both of us are comfortable in understanding. He was so
Correct.
happy. He started off in Hindi. He was like talking
Yes.
to me like a good old friend, like how we know one another for 10 years.
Correct.
So a
Yeah.
rapport is built there. So language and the way you, play with customers, psychology plays an important role. It's just not customer, Vinita. It can be anybody over the phone. Okay, you can play
Correct.
with the
Correct.
psychology with your choice of words, and you can make sure that they should be keen to see you actually.
True. True.
And the curiosity வந்துடணும் உங்களுக்கு இவன் எப்படி தான் இருப்பான்ப்பா. You'll be thinking how this guy will be to look and how is she to look. I just they'll get that inclination to you know see you personally. See, because your voice is different, your personality is different, your appearance is different.
Correct. Correct.
Some people, what we normally do is we speak to the person over the phone, and if we find him or her sounding nice over the phone, or if you sound them very polite, or if you find them very pleasant on the phone, you like them, correct?
Correct.
And when you like them, you'll start picturizing about how he or she looks. Will you not do that?
I don't do that, sir.
Usually I do that. 80% of
Okay.
human beings, they do that. Okay. And when I used to take calls, okay, when I used to take calls in the US process, I was in the US process, okay. Most of the women or most of the guys, I would say most of the women, they used to say that, where are you from? They used to ask me, where are you from? We actually, when we ask a question, we are not supposed to reveal from which geographical location I'm from. It is a client specifications telling that please do not reveal your geographical location if the customer asks you. That's a rule. That's a compliance.
Yes. Yes.
You know what a compliance is.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that was a compliance. But when out of 100 customers, at least 6 or 7 used to ask us, where are you talking to me from? Then we used to say that we never used to talk to them straight. We used to tell them that I'm from Asia.
Right.
We don't say
Right.
Asia, we would say Asia. And then they would quickly conclude telling that, are you a Pakistani?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or the first question is they'll ask you whether you're Pakistani. Then that's the time we got to tell I'm from Bangalore, India. Bangalore, India.
Okay.
So perception changes when they get to know that you're from Bangalore, India.
Okay.
Some people, they would say that, no, you sound good over the phone. You sound good over the phone. They would say that, where are you from? Or they would say that, I love your voice quality. They would give compliments.
Correct. Correct.
And at
Correct.
the end of the call, when we used to ask them, is there anything else? We used to use the name, John, is there anything else I may help you with? Or possibly put it this way, put the customer's name in the beginning or put the customer's name in the end. Is there anything else I may help you with, John? Or if I ask you, is there anything else I may help you with, Vinita? It's a question. So you would say that, no,
Yes.
no, no. Then I would say that, anyways, thank you for calling us. You have a fantastic day, John. You take care. See,
Yes.
it is
Yeah.
more branding along with a personal touch when you are saying you take care.
Correct.
Not many of us used to use the word you take care, but a few of us used to use that you take care because the reason why is there are attributes attached. Because when I say you take care, he definitely will say thank you and you too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I would say have a wonderful day, you take care. Then I would wait for the customer's acknowledgement and he would definitely say thank you. Some people would say thank you. Some people would say thank you and you too. And after that, you would say goodbye.
Yes.
That means you are ending the conversation and you have to wait for the customer to say goodbye. That is the closure. Okay, some customers used to ask them, when you say, is there anything else I may help you with? They would say that, no, no, fantastic. They would always compliment telling that you did a fantastic job. I got my
Right.
issues resolved. They would say that I got my issues resolved. They would say that you are fantastic. They use the word
Right.
you are too good. And some customers would say you did a fantastic job. And some customer would say thank you so much for your kind help. These are all called as compliments.
Right.
See, not all the customers would give it. At least 1 in 10 customers used to do. But that again depends on how polite you are, how professionally you've handled the call, how professionally you've handled the show, and basically your empathy. Very, very important, man. I forgot that. Let me put that. How empathetic you are. Yeah. Especially empathy plays an important role. See, I completely forgot about it. How empathetic you are, it's just not with customers, with everybody, Vinitha.
Yes. Yes.
You got to be empathetic with everybody because it's a human touch.
True. True.
Being empathetic is a human touch where, when the customer says, I've been waiting in the queue for such a long time, they would wait, they would call the 1-800 number. You know what a 1-800 number is?
Yes. Yes.
A 1-800 number is a toll-free number where you got to queue
Perfect.
in. Yeah, you got to wait. You got to go through the IVR process and wait in the queue for 10 minutes, wait in the queue for 15 minutes, or possibly 20 minutes. It could be sometimes, it could be more also. But once they reach you, they're full of joy, thinking that, oh my God, finally I got this guy.
Yes.
Finally,
True.
I got a human being who's going to help me out.
True. True.
Okay, then the customers will tell you, hey, look, I've been waiting in the queue for about 7 minutes to talk to you. Not all the customers would do that. Some customers would definitely tell you, I waited for almost over 12 minutes to reach out to connect with you. That means he or she, the customer, is giving a feedback there because that's a waiting time should not be there, but that's a technical issue. That means he is trying to tell you that please don't make the customers wait. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
So that's a
Correct.
feedback. So when once the customer says, "Hey, look, I've been," then you say that my name is. Normally we have pseudonyms. Okay, we have pseudonyms. When I say pseudonyms, we have Christian names.
Right. Right.
Assume that my name is Mark Spencer. I would say that this is Mark Spencer, how may I help you? Then the customer will say that, hey Mark, I've been waiting in the queue for 10 long minutes to talk to you. Would you be able to? I'm sure that you'll help me. A customer who's very, very conversational. There are customers who will be very
Yeah.
conversational.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Who'll be
Yes.
very good in socializing, who'll be very friendly, and they are the ones who will
Mm.
give you a honest feedback. They said, I've been waiting in the queue for 10 minutes. That means that's a feedback to talk to you.
Correct. Correct.
Would you acknowledge him or not?
Oh, yes.
How do you acknowledge him? If the customer says, I've been waiting in the queue for 10 long minutes to talk to you, I'm sure that you can help me. எப்படி
So you would
acknowledge
have a
பண்றது?
better, you will have a better version for this time than
How do you acknowledge? Will you not acknowledge if he's saying, I've been waiting in the queue for 10 minutes? Will you not acknowledge, or will you just brush it up?
no, should be acknowledged.
How will you do it? See, please remember, all of these things should not be ignored, because the customer has been in the queue for such a long time, and finally he's happy that he's got someone who's there to help you. He's banking on you for
Correct.
help,
Correct. Correct.
because if suppose his issues are not resolved, he may have to call again and wait for 15-20 minutes, which is a pain.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So in such instances, some customers will not talk anything. Some customers are very conversational. They would say that, I've been waiting in the queue for almost 15 minutes. I'm sure that you can help me out, buddy. Or you can say, I'm sure that you can help me, Mark. That means the reliable factor, the customers telling that I'm going to rely on you for help. Correct? La?
Correct.
So how do you acknowledge when the customer tells this? Simple question, Vinita. It's just not customer, anybody for that matter. Okay. Assume that you're talking to somebody over the phone. Okay. I call you once, your phone's still engaged. Okay. I again call you after 10-15 minutes. It's still engaged. Again, I call you for the third time. I get you online. And you know that it's me who's tried twice before. புரியுதுங்களா சொல்றது நானு?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know that I've called twice before, and third time I've called you and you're talking to me. Don't you acknowledge the person? For example, if your mom or dad or brother or friend call you twice, your line's still
Yes.
engaged. The third time they connect with you, would you not react, or would you not tell them, sorry papa, my line was
Yes.
busy?
Yes. Yes.
Will you not?
Yes. Definitely. Sir.
Similarly, how will you do it with the customer? That's my question. How do you do it with the customer? The customer says, I've been waiting for 10-15 minutes to talk to you, Vinita. I'm sure that you'll help me. How will you acknowledge?
Would it be appropriate if I?
Or
Yes,
what's
sir.
that you're going to tell him? Or what's that you're going to tell him?
Would it be appropriate if I told this person, sorry about the
Would you not
technical
tell
issue?
him, my sincere apologies for keeping you wait?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You should not say my sincere
Definitely.
apologies. You got to say our sincere apologies.
Mm.
It's not your problem, correct?
Yes. Correct. Correct.
The customer's in the line.
I just need to-
The
Yes.
customer could have
Correct.
got connected to you. The next time the customer calls, he'll not connect to Vinita alone. It may be somebody else.
Yes.
So it's a company technicalities. All you have to do is our apologies for keeping you on line for a long time, sir.
Correct. Correct.
Or you can always tell our apologies for the inconvenience caused to you. See, these are things. Don't you think you got to use this when the customer, only when the customer tells this?
Yes.
Otherwise, you would
Yes.
never know. Otherwise, you would never know that this customer was online for 10-15 minutes until and unless he or she reveals
Correct.
it, right?
Correct. Correct.
So make sure that we see those are called as empathizing.
Okay.
புரியுதுங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Empathy is different. Sympathy is different. Don't mix it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sympathy is you're feeling sorry for someone.
Mm.
Empathy is imagining yourself in the other person's
In
shoes.
that person, yes, yes, correct.
Okay. Then immediately, if I was the customer
Mm.
support guy, if the customer says this, he would say that, "No, I've been in the queue
Mm.
for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Madan. I'm sure that
Mm.
you can help me out."
Mm.
Immediately, I would say that, I understand, sir. Our sincere apologies for making you wait."
Mm.
Don't you
Yeah.
think it'll cool the customer down?
Yes. Okay.
And I also will add on by telling that, I'm very sorry to hear that. Or possibly I would say that, I understand, and our sincere apologies for the inconvenience. I'm here to help you, sir.
Mm.
Please tell me your queries. Simple as that.
Right.
Means
Right.
you are empathizing, okay,
Mm.
and also you are. When I say I'm here to help you, what's that? I'll say, "Don't worry, sir. I'm here to help you. I'll make sure that your issues are resolved." It can be any one of these. What's that actually?
Yes. Yes. Assurance.
Correct?
Yes.
What's assurance? Assurance is nothing but a promise.
Mm.
So you're
Correct.
assuring the customer. First thing is you're empathizing with the customer, telling that, "I understand your concern. Our sincere apologies for keeping you wait, or our
Mm.
sincere apologies for the inconvenience."
Yeah.
Then you continue by saying, "I'm here to help you, sir." Possibly you can say that, "Please do not worry. I'm going to help you resolve the issue." That means you're telling the
Mm.
customer, in spite of waiting for such a long time, I'm apologizing on behalf of the company, but don't worry. Since you're already connected, I'll make sure that your issues are resolved. That means you don't have to call us again.
Right. Right.
So you are assuring to
Mm.
help or resolve the issue.
Reservation. Yeah.
It can be any one of them. It can be help or
Mm.
resolve the issue.
Reserve.
It depends on the issue again. So you're making sure that you're assuring the customer, and you're
Mm.
making sure that the customer gets into the confident mode, and also he will
Mm.
forget his past experience of waiting 15-20 minutes in the line.
Mm.
அவன் மறந்துடுவான்
Yeah.
அதெல்லாம் கரெக்ட்ல.
Correct, sir.
He'll forget his bad experience. He'll forget. Then he will know that when you say, "Our sincere apologies for the inconvenience," in case
Mm.
Mr. John, don't worry, I'm here to help you. That means you are assuring, telling that, "Don't worry,
Mm.
your issues will be resolved by me." Simple.
Mm.
So basically, all of these, it's just not over the call or over the customers, Vinita. It can happen with anybody. It can happen with even in your personal lives also.
Yeah.
And if you may have seen, if you get calls, interview calls from HRs, have you seen some
Mm.
people are very professional? Have you?
Yes, sir.
They would ask you, "Am I speaking with Vinita?" You would say yes.
Mm.
Then
Mm.
they would say that, "My name is Madan. I'm calling from the HR team of Dell. Is this the right time to talk, Vinita?"
Mm. Yes. Yes.
They might
That
call you
question
at
will
any
be
time. They
asked.
might call you at any time. They might call
Mm.
you at 11 o'clock. They might call you at 1 o'clock. And that call comes in all of a sudden to you.
Mm.
And when you get to know that there's a call from HR, you actually switch to the professional mode of talking to them, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes, sir.
You transition. You switch to
Mm.
a professional mode. And if he or she is a professional person from HR, she will ask you, "Vinita, is this the
Mm.
right time to talk?"
Correct.
Because they would not know what
Mm.
you're up to, and where you're uh, uh, where where you're actually heading towards. You may be outside somewhere. You may be
Mm.
busy elsewhere. You got what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I,
sir.
I
Correct.
cannot say that, I'm calling from HR. I'm going to conduct an interview. Are you ready? I can't do that immediately.
No.
So
Correct.
that's again being very professional and courteous from the HR's perspective, or from the professional perspective. So I would definitely ask, "Good afternoon, Vinita. How are you doing?" See, my way of talking is different, Vinita. When I call you, when I call Vinita, see, usually what I do is I'll call people and ask you, "How are you doing?"
Mm.
I call them and tell them, "Hi, Vinita." When I say, "Am I speaking with Vinita?" Or possibly I would say,
Mm.
"Vinita." You would say, "Yes."
Mm.
Then I would say, "My name is Madan, Vinita. How are you doing?" First, I identify myself
Mm.
and I ask the person how he or she is doing. Don't you feel good when I ask you, "How are you doing?"
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you're grabbing attention there, number one. And
Mm.
you are sounding professional. And secondly, you are creating that interest in the person to continue talking to you.
Correct. Correct.
I'm not like the regular telemarketing guy.
Mm.
I'm different.
Yes.
My
Yes. Correct.
approach to make sure that the other person talks to me is different. You must have
Correct.
seen telemarketing guys, they call you and tell that, they'll not know your name. Huh? They'll call you, they'll get to know
Mm.
you're a female, then they say that, "Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, can you give me 2 minutes, ma'am?"
Mm.
Or they
Yes.
will, or they will say that, "Ma'am, I'm calling from HDFC Bank, ma'am. This is about the loan." They will not even ask you, "Can I take 2 minutes?" Or, "Are you free?" They'll
Yes.
not ask anything. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There are varieties of people with varieties of styles, various styles again of talking to customers. See,
Mm.
it depends on your attention grabbing technique, how you make the other person listen to you and talk to you back.
Right. Right.
That is a skill.
Correct.
That is a skill which comes with experience, and
Correct.
that's a skill you get if you have handled customers for a real long time, or if you've been exposed to handling customers, or if you've been exposed in a professional environment, or if even though you're not exposed, even though you don't handle
Mm.
customers, it's not a mandate that you have to handle customers to get all of these skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, basically it's all in your mind actually. See, polite and courteous, everybody's polite and courteous, man.
Mm.
Correct? And I cannot
Yes.
expect everybody to be professional
Correct. Correct.
because a college student may be polite and courteous, his language
Mm.
may be excellent, but he will not be sound professional because he's a fresher, he's not worked, he's not a professional, nor he has worked in any professional organization before. Correct?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
I can't expect this one, I can't expect this out of this guy.
Mm.
See, I can expect this out of a guy or a girl only if I
Mm.
know that he or she's been working somewhere at least for a minimum of 4 5 months. If he is been working for an organization even for a month, he is a professional.
Mm.
Correct?
Correct.
So
Correct.
when I get to know that I'm calling a person who's an
Mm.
experienced guy, only then I would
Mm.
expect this guy to be professional to me. Else, I
Mm.
should not be
Mm.
expecting professionalism with a guy who's studying in college. I can't do that.
Correct. Correct.
Correct? And I also
That's.
can't expect this out of him.
Mm.
I can't expect etiquette out of him. But bottom line,
Mm.
he will have at least 20% of etiquette. But when it comes to people who are
Yes.
working, I expect a
Mm.
100% efficacy from this guy when he or she is talking to me.
Correct.
Correct,
Correct.
illa?
Correct. Correct.
It is just not over the call. It can be
Mm.
even in person,
Correct.
or it can be over an informal conversation also. See, bottom line, when someone calls me as a friend, someone assume that your friend calls you in the morning. You actually,
Business.
you don't, even though it's not a mandate that you have to talk to the person in English. You would rather say good
Mm.
morning, or you would rather say vanakkam.
Mm.
Correct?
Correct.
It's not mandatory because it's an informal conversation. But yes,
Mm.
you open the greeting, you open the call with a greeting. You will do it.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
It is decency, right?
Yes. Yes.
It is etiquette.
Mm.
I'm not a
Correct.
labor, nor I'm not a auto rickshaw driver. When someone calls me telling that,
Mm.
hello, salepar pathirkingla,
Mm. Yes. Sir. Yes.
hello,
Yes.
they sound like this. They start the call like this. Hello.
Mm.
Even for their wives,
Yes,
they talk
yes,
like that. Even for anybody, they talk like that.
yes, yes.
See, we cannot expect efficacy from all categories of people.
Mm.
Correct?
That's good.
I can't expect
Correct, sir.
efficacy from a guy who is a mason, who's doing the building
Mm.
கட்டுற
Mm.
கற்கிட்டாலும் efficacy நான் பார்க்க முடியாது. I can't expect all of these.
Uh-huh. Correct.
But there are certain people, even though they are not educated, they follow efficacy in their own
Mm.
language. See, I have friends in Tamil Nadu, okay? I call them. I have
Okay, sir.
friends. I told you that I worked in Trichy for 3 years. I have friends in
Yes, sir.
Madurai.
Yes.
I have friends in Tiruchi. Today, when I
Okay.
call them, okay, we used to work
Mm.
together, and now we
Okay.
are friends, okay? Earlier, we used to
Okay.
do the good morning, good nights in the office. Good morning, Madan
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Good evening, Madan sir. No, now it so happened that when I called them, they said, Vanakkam.
Mm.
Vanakkam, Madan sir. Everything. So we have switched our language because we are not working anymore together. Now we are not professionals. Now we are not colleagues, but we are good friends. So we have got into an
Mm.
informal
Right.
mode.
Right.
But
Right.
again, I follow etiquette there. It can be vanakkam or it can
Mm.
be good morning. And etiquette element
Mm.
is always there in your conversation.
Correct.
And when I close the call with them, I always tell them, சரிப்பா நான் கிளம்புறேன் இப்போ
Mm.
நான் இல்லைண்ணா நான் ஃபோன் எடுக்கிட்டா
Mm.
சரிப்பா ஓகே
Mm.
சரிம்மா ஓகே
Mm.
குட் நைட் பா பட் அகெயின் ஐ வுட் சே குட் நைட்
Mm.
பா சரிப்பான்ட்டு நான் ஃபோனை வைக்கிறது இல்லை
Mm. Mm.
I
Correct.
follow some etiquette.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
etiquette is basically something to do with your personality, something to do with your culture,
Mm.
something to do how cultured you are. And the culture of it,
Right.
I cannot expect these kind of etiquette or generic etiquette with everybody and from everyone from all walks of life. I can't do that. If number
Yes.
assuming that you have a housemaid who comes to your house,
Mm.
okay, அந்த அம்மா வந்துட்டு
Mm.
உங்களுக்கு குட் மார்னிங் சொல்லணுமா?
Mm.
Is that a mandate, or do you expect her to tell a good
No.
morning to you when she's coming home?
Mm. No.
Not required. And
Mm. Right.
you know that she's an illiterate, correct?
Mm. Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
train illiterates on all of these things. I can't do that.
Right.
But
Right.
to some extent, they will also have etiquette.
Mm. Yes. Good.
When they're leaving, வேளான பிற்பாடு போயிடு என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? அம்மா போயிட்டு வரம்மா சொல்ல மாட்டாங்களே இல்லையா?
Correct. Solong. Solong.
They will tell that.
Right.
When they come in
Yes.
the morning, when they enter the house, they might say vanakkam, or they might say good morning, or they might not say this. But when they are going, at least they
Mm.
will have the etiquette to tell you, I'm leaving.
Yes. Yes.
So in the etiquette
That's good.
ஒரு word வந்து it plays
Mm.
an important role in everyone's life, irrespective of whether you belong to an educated class or you belong to a professional
Mm.
class. Etiquette at least to some extent, to 10 to 20% ஆகுது இருக்கும் வினிதா.
Mm. Correct.
And when you're
Correct.
talking to your mom, if suppose assume that you
Mm.
are going out of station, and when you go there,
Mm.
obviously you definitely get in touch
Mm.
with your mom in the night before sleeping, and you definitely will talk to her. And
Mm.
will you not say that Bhadrama irungo?
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. And you'll also say good night if possible. Good night ma, Bhadrama irungo ma.
Yes. Definitely.
Solvingla இல்லையா?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
And some of them I've seen, they'll say that Madan sir எப்படி இருக்கீங்க எல்லாம் நல்லா போயிட்டு இருக்குதுப்பா. They'll say that சரினாப்பா சரிப்பா சரவணா நான் வரேன், I'm leaving nowனா. சரி மதன் பத்திரமா போயிட்டு வாங்க மதன், வீட்டில் எல்லாரையும் கேட்டதா சொல்லுங்க.
கேட்டதா சொல்லுங்க. Correct. Correct.
They do that, no?
Yes. Yes.
See, that is again one element of etiquette.
Mm.
That see the same kind of see, that is actually your way of speaking to people, but it can be different
Correct.
in different parts of India.
That's true.
Hindi, they will say that हमारा प्रणाम दे दो भाभी को.
Yes.
புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு?
Yes, sir.
Some people, I have some people in north, I speak to them in Hindi. Then I'll tell them,
Mm.
शिवम जी हम विदा लेते हैं. என்ன அப்படின்னா?
I didn't hear you, sir.
हम
Shivam ji?
शिवम जी अंडर द पेर हम अब
Okay.
विदा लेते हैं विदा का मत अब हम विदा लेते हैं ना दैट मीन्स आई एम गोइंग टू टेक लीव नाउ
Take me. Yeah. Oh,
on the phone
okay.
that means I'm going to end the call or possibly indirectly telling that
Mhm.
let's end the conversation हम अब विदा लेते हैं
Yeah.
it's a very polished way of saying I'm going to let's end this conversation. So at that time he will say that ji haan then I would say that good
Mm,
night Shivam ji. Then he or
yes.
she will tell that आप बेफिक्र रहिए. Okay, then they'll
Mm,
say that आप बेफिक्र रहिए. They'll say that भाभी जी को हमारा प्रणाम दे देना मदन.
yeah. The last one I understood.
हाँ, they
What's
will tell
basic
that
is
that means convey my hi to Babi. That means my wife. See, these are
yeah,
different ways.
mm.
Sorry,
No, no, that I understood, but what's basicer, sir?
sorry.
Basicer. You said basicer.
Basics. I didn't get you.
No, 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 no. You said basicer. What's
बेफिक्र रहिए.
basicer
बेफिक्र का
in
मतलब don't worry.
oh, don't worry. Okay.
Then I would definitely say that
Okay.
pranam. I would say that good night Shivam ji or pranam Guru ji. They will say that हमारा
Mm,
भाभी जी को हमारा प्रणाम दे दीजिएगा. That means கேட்டதா சொல்லுங்க சொன்னீங்கல்ல.
mhm. Yeah, that I understood.
That is in
Yes, sir.
Hindi.
Huh.
Tell him that
Mm,
please give my pranams to Bhabi.
mm,
See, these are different ways of people follow etiquette. But the only thing is, etiquette
mm,
is followed everybody. Everybody knows what it is.
mm.
Everybody knows about it. But the only thing is, we don't
Correct.
observe. Only when we are
Mm,
discussing, or only when a training like this is happening, only when we are discussing about etiquette, only when we start recalling all of these experiences.
mm. Correct, correct. For sure.
Otherwise, we would not. We are, see, subconsciously we do it actually.
Mm, mm.
Today morning I was going in the car. Okay, someone from
Okay.
the opposite side, uh, they were walking. I waved at them. When you're traveling on a bike,
Okay.
it's not a mandate that you have to shout and say hi. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Not required. A hand gesture,
Yes.
தூரத்துல ஒரு விஷ் பண்ணாங்களா போதும்.
Mm,
But bottom line, when you're walking and we are meeting them physically, that means you shake hands and that's when you say that good morning, how are you doing? There is a conversation built. But when you are passing on a four-wheeler or a two-wheeler or in the middle or on a transport, all you have to do is just give a
mm,
gesture, hi, தூரத்துலேருந்து.
mm.
You don't have to
Yes,
shout and say
yes,
hi. கையில் எப்படின்னா கூட போதும்.
yes.
Those are all etiquettes. See, it comes subconsciously.
Mm,
Etiquette நாங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்குது வினிதா. We all have this etiquette. We follow this etiquette. But we do not know that these are etiquettes. Only when we are discussing the pointers, only when we'll try to recollect and think that, oh yes, we are doing all of these.
mm.
Otherwise,
Correct.
we are doing fine. See, I'm doing fine in my language. You're following etiquette in your language. I don't have an
Mm,
issue. But the problem is,
mm.
we do not realize the importance of etiquette until and unless we sit like this and discuss.
Correct, correct,
Correct?
correct, correct, sir.
And majority of the times, our etiquette levels are different.
Mm,
Our etiquette levels are different. Your etiquette levels are different. My etiquette levels are different. So, Vinita, I think we shall wind this up, wind this class today. We shall continue with. I think I shall share all of these to you. Don't worry. Hello.